Okay, guys. Welcome to the last class of this session. I know, everybody's so sad. Don't worry, I am too. There will be no class next week. I'll remind you again after this class, hopefully, if I remember. And then I'll also send out an email to everybody taking this class currently who signed up before and signed up for past classes too, just so that we can encourage you to sign up for the next one and you don't show up to a class and realize I'm not here and have your day just be miserable because you didn't get to see me. I know it sucks. However, I think I've kind of compiled a bunch of movements that we've really been working on throughout the duration of this class itself. So this class is kind of a summary of everything. It does include blocks. I know we didn't start doing blocks until like the very end, but the blocks are fun and I love them and I will not get rid of them. But it is more of like a strength focus. Be prepared for that. Remembering to take those modifications as needed, remembering to prioritize our muscle connection and making sure we're not overcompensating on one muscle and that we're super sore the next day when in reality we shouldn't have been sore at all. Our main focus is protecting ourselves, making sure that we are feeling good and that we can come back for next session because you guys are all gonna sign up. With that being said, let's go ahead and get started. We're gonna come into that kneeling position. Lifting our arms over our heads, finding length through our fingertips. Taking those little side stretches, in whatever way feels comfortable to you. Deep breaths in. And on your next exhale, you're going to twist to the left, sending your left arm behind you, bringing your right arm to the front, trying to stretch out that shoulder, finding more mobility through your upper thoracic area. Reaching through your left fingertips. On every inhale, every exhale, slowly trying to sink further back and deeper into that twist. Deep breath in, lifting up, back to center. Length through your fingertips. Exhale, rotating to the right, stretching your right arm behind you, finding length through those fingertips. Slowly working on twisting for more thoracic rotation. Remembering to breathe. Deep breath in, lifting up back to center. Exhale, bringing your arms to 90, finding that pencil between your shoulder blades and pinching it as tight as you can. Squeezing the back of your scapula. Exhale, pushing up. Inhale, interlacing your hands behind you or reaching for both of your hands if you can. Feel free to add a little bit more intensity by coming all the way down into that child's pose. Deep breath in. Still breathing. Exhale, unhooking your hands, just walking them forward on the mat. Coming all the way into that child's pose. Feel free to walk your knees a little bit wider on the mat if you're looking for more of a stretch through your hips. Slowly working towards getting your chest all the way to the ground. Taking those deep breaths. Setting our intentions for today's class. Bringing awareness to all four corners of your body. Wiggling your fingers. Wiggling your toes. Feeling your forearms pressed into the mat. Allowing yourself to take deep belly breaths. Might try box breathing here. In for 4, hold for 4, out for 4, hold, and repeat. This next movement, we will be needing our block. If you don't have a block, that is okay. Feel free to do all of these movements without one. But as you come to that exhale, you're going to come all the way back up to your knees. Using that block again, lifting it all the way over your head. Trying to engage our shoulders here. Squeezing through your back. Exhale, you're going to slowly lower yourself down while still keeping that core engaged. You want to stay braced, still squeezing through that back. And then bringing yourself all the way back up. Slow and controlled, pressing through your palms into that block. Still breathing. Let's go ahead and do one more. Trying to do it as slow as you can. Still staying in that comfort zone. Bracing through your core. Lifting yourself all the way up. Taking one deep breath. Lowering your hands behind you, coming into almost a tricep extension. Pushing through your palms into the block. Lifting all the way up. Holding the block in whatever way feels comfortable to you. Slow and in control. Squeezing your back the entire time. Do this one more time. Lifting your block all the way overhead. Bringing it into that steering wheel position. Still pushing through your palms, keeping a slight bend in your elbows. You're just going to twist from side to side, waking up that core. Remember, the slower you do it, the more intensity you will create. Really squeezing that core. Pushing through both of your palms into that block. For one more. Last one, letting go of that block, putting back to the side, walking your hands in front of you, curling your toes underneath of you. Shoulders should be directly over your wrists, pushing through the heels of your palm. Go ahead and lift into that downward dog, walking out your heels, waking up the backs of your legs. Taking a deep breath before we enter our next flow. On your exhale, bringing your shoulders above the heels of your palms, slowly swooping, finding that upward facing dog. Feel free to let your knees rest on the mat before we send our hips back, coming all the way back up into that downward dog. We're going to create a little bit of a flow out of this, repeating that step, going back into high plank, slowly lowering through those triceps, bringing ourselves up, upward facing dog. One more deep breath, sending those hips back, pushing ourselves up, upward dog. Doing this one more time, high plank, slowly lowering, pushing ourselves up, upward facing dog. Feel free to look over each shoulder. Sending our hips back, finding that downward dog once more. Walking our feet to our hands to your feet. Finding your forward fold. Deep breath in, rising all the way up, standing, hands overhead, taking those little side bends if needed. Exhale, diving all the way forward. Inhale, half lift. Create that Y with your arms, pinching that pencil behind your shoulder blades. Exhale, lowering all the way back down. Inhale, full lift, fingertips to the ceiling. Exhale, lowering all the way back down. Inhale, half lift. Creating that Y, hinging at the hips, keeping your back straight. Pinching that pencil with your shoulder blades. Really squeezing here. Exhale, lowering all the way back down. One more time. Inhale, full lift, fingertips to the ceiling. Exhale, diving forward. Inhale, half lift, squeezing those glutes, hinging at the hip. Exhale, Ying those arms out. And lowering all the way back down. Deep breath here. When you're ready, putting a slight bend in that right knee, lifting that left arm up. Exhale, lowering back down, bending left knee, lifting that right arm. Exhale, lowering, lifting left, bending right. Lowering, bending left, lifting right. Doing this flow one more time, lifting left, bending right. And last one, bending left, lifting right. Lowering your arm, walking your hands all the way back to that high plank, lowering to your knees, pushing into that tabletop. Go ahead and grab both of your blocks. Placing one block over your left hand, one block under your right leg. We're going to transition into those bird dogs. Feel free to do this without blocks as well if you find that this is too difficult for you. We're just going to start by lifting that right arm, kicking back that right leg, using that right glute, finding length through your toes and your fingertips. And you can either exhale, lowering straight all the way down, or after you lift, feel free to crunch, bring that elbow to knee if you're looking for a greater intensity. Remembering to do this at your own pace, with your own breath, whatever feels comfortable to you. Remembering to prioritize lifting through the core. Your pelvic should be tilted up and in. Wanting a straight back, keeping a slight bend in your elbow. Pushing through the heel of your palm. And remembering to breathe. For 2 more. Really trying to engage your core here. Last one. Trying to keep that straight line, fingertips to toes. Exhale. If you are using your blocks, you might want to tilt it so that it is in front of you. Kind of grip it like you're choking it. I don't really know how else to say that, but from here, we're going to transition into those windshield wipers or those arcs, but we're going to couple it with a Pilates push-up. Feel free to take that arc, lifting your leg back up, then slowly lowering down and pushing back up. Engaging your core and your tricep while still lifting through that left glute. If you do choose to windshield wiper, just making sure you're emphasizing that engagement in your core. Should be a little bit of a burner for your arms too. And one more. Coming into 6 fun little pulses for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Feel free to lower that leg all the way down. And do those chest openers, so lifting your right arm up, keeping that left leg back on the floor, and lowering back down. If it helps, feel free to use your fist into that block. If you feel any sort of pain through your wrist. And if it's easier, feel free to bring those fingertips to your temple. Whatever is comfortable to you. Last one. Lowering all the way back down. Go ahead and kick those blocks out of the way. I know everybody loves them so much. Still in that tabletop position, we're just going to send our right arm forward and reach back. Adding a little bit more mobility. Feeling a little bit more of a burn through our left arm. For 2 more. And last one, reaching as far back as you can. Coming all the way back down to tabletop. Kicking your left leg up to the outside of your left hand. Hopefully you still have those blocks handy, because we're going to enter into our lunge series. Still going to do that little warm up, grabbing onto that block, hinging at those hips, and lifting all the way up. But we're going to add a little bit of thoracic rotation and lowering back down. Lifting, hinging at the hips, rotating, coming back to center, falling all the way down. Last one, twist. Kicking off through that right foot using our left glute. We're going to come all the way into that lunge and slowly squat down. Remembering to use our breath, trying to keep that knee stacked over our right ankle, pushing through your left glute. For 2 more. Last one, pushing all the way up. And we're going to go into those pulses for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming all the way back up to standing. Taking that time, take those side bends if needed. Exhale. We're going to lower all the way down to chair pose. We still have that lovely block. Go ahead and put that between your knees. Bring your hands to prayer. Pushing up from a squat. Exhale, lowering down and twisting. Deep breath in, coming back to center. Lift, squeezing between your knees. Lower, hands to prayer, twist. Lift. Squeezing those knees, squeezing those palms together, and twist. Lift. Twist. Feel free to do this with your own pace, at your own breath. Deep breath in, lift. And we're going to lower down, pulsing for another 5, 4, squeezing those glutes, 3, 2, 1, standing all the way up. Feel free to throw your block, not at me, but on the ground. Lifting our hands all the way back up. Bring our left foot up, finding that tree pose. Option to kick it over top of your right thigh and slowly lowering down. Finding that standing figure 4. Deep breath in. Pushing through all 4 corners of your right foot. Exhale, standing all the way up. Kicking that left foot back. Finding your warrior 3. Feel free to grab that block. Use that as you're trying to practice balance. Deep breath in. And exhale, letting that leg fall all the way to the floor, coming into that lunge. One more deep breath in. Slowly letting your hips sink down. Exhale, stepping all the way back, pushing yourself into that downward facing dog. Lifting that left leg all the way up, pointing it to the ceiling. Feel free to bend that knee if you're looking for a little extra intensity here. For a 1 deep breath in. And on your next exhale, bringing that knee to your chest, slowly letting it fall underneath of you, finding yourself in a pigeon pose. Try not to rock side to side. You want to keep your hips parallel to the floor beneath of you. If you're looking to add a little more intensity, feel free to walk your hands all the way forward. One more deep breath in. Exhale, walking those hands back, pushing yourself up, curling those toes underneath of you, coming back into a tabletop position. I'm going to go ahead and repeat the same thing for the other side now. Feel free to set your block underneath of your right hand, your other block under your left knee. If you'd like to use blocks for your bird dogs. If not, feel free to do it without. We're just going to lift that left arm up, send that right leg back. Feel free to do your crunch here or send your leg and your hand all the way straight down. Remembering to do this with your breath, engaging your core, looking for that straight line, lifting your pelvis up and in. I'm going to do this for 2 more. Really lifting through that right glute. Last one. Engaging your core. Lowering down. Feel free to twist that block. Put your hands directly on top of it. We're going to go straight into those arcs to push up. Or windshield wipers if you're feeling like a warrior right now. Remembering to keep those triceps engaged, your core lifted, your glute on. Only 3 more. Last one. Coming all the way up, lowering that leg down. Feel free to kick both blocks out of the way. Just gonna reach forward and back. Still staying lifted through that core. Slight bend through your elbow. Prioritizing opening that thoracic rotation. Last one. Coming all the way back down and head straight into those chest openers. Feel free to do this with your arm fully extended or with your fingertips at your temples. For 2 more. And last one. Lowering your arm all the way back down, stepping that right foot all the way up. Coming into that lunge position, taking your blocks. Just gonna hinge up at the hip and lift overhead. Remaining, your core should still be on. Your glute should still be engaged. Squeezing through your entire back. And last one, lifting all the way up. Pushing through that right glute and that left foot. We're gonna come all the way into that lunge before we slowly lower down, keeping that right glute all the way on. Feel free to add that thoracic rotation, pushing through all 4 corners of your right foot. For 1 more, lowering all the way down. You go straight into those pulses for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and coming all the way back up. Taking those little side bends. When you're ready, placing that block between your knees, coming back into that chair pose. Deep breath in, lifting all the way up, squeezing your knees together. Exhale, lowering down, taking a slight twist. Remembering to breathe, trying to keep your knees stacked over your ankles. Last one, coming all the way back up. Lowering down for that pulse of 5, 4. Keeping those glutes on. 3, 2, 1. Feel free to throw that block on the ground. Deep breath in, reaching all the way up. Lifting that leg. Finding that tree pose. Or increasing that intensity, kicking that foot over top of your thigh, lowering all the way down to that standing figure 4. Deep breath in. Exhale, lifting all the way back up. Sending that leg backward, finding your warrior 3. Option to use that block as you're working on stability. One more deep breath in. Letting that leg fall all the way down, finding that lunge. One more deep breath. Slowly letting your hips sink further to the floor. Placing your hand on either side of your foot, stepping back, finding that high plank to down dog, walking those feet out. When you're ready, lifting up that right leg, the option to bend if you're looking for that added intensity. Taking one deep breath in here. Your next exhale, bringing your knee to your chest as you slowly lower down to that pigeon pose. Remembering we're not rocking side to side here. And if you're looking for more intensity, walking your hands a little bit further. Deep breath in. Exhale, walking your hands back, curling your toes underneath, kicking that right leg back, walking your left foot by your left hand, your right foot by your right hand, coming all the way into that yogi squat. If this is difficult for you, feel free to take that block or just roll forward onto your hands as you slowly work towards getting both heels on the ground. For one more deep breath in. On that next exhale, you're going to let yourself lower all the way down to your glutes. Still keeping that block handy, we're going to put it between both of our knees. But this time we're going to lower all the way down, keeping those heels directly by your glutes, tilting that pelvic floor up and in, making sure your lower back is completely flat, touching the ground. We're going to slowly lift up, pushing through the heels of our feet and our glutes, coming into that glute bridge, still squeezing our knees together. And deep breath, lowering your hips all the way down. Coming into one more, squeezing those glutes, lifting them all the way up off the ground. Exhale, lowering all the way down. Feel free to let go of that block. Coming into that boat pose. If you were here last class, you remember how fun these were. Slowly lowering down. We're going to alternate our legs here, but you're going to bring one knee to your chest, making sure your chest is lifted up, engaging through your core, and lifting with the other knee. Alternating boat pose crunches. Deep breath in. Prioritizing our posture here. For two more. Last one, lowering all the way down to our forearms. We're just going to do single leg crunches, so bringing that left leg up, lowering it down, right leg up, lowering it down. Still engaging our core. Taking those breaths. Last one, lifting that leg. Hope you remember that form. We're going to lower all the way down to our back. Bring our fingertips to our temple using the same kind of form, but now we're going to touch our elbow to our knee, lowering all the way down. A modified bicycle crunch. Still keeping that back fully touching the ground. You don't want to lift your lower back up at all. Slow and in control. Deep breath. option to increase the intensity by keeping both legs up. Still remembering to breathe. Letting that core burn a little bit more. Last one. Letting your legs fully meet the ground. Go ahead and kick that right foot all the way up, hooking it over top of your left leg, grabbing on to your hamstring or your shin, pulling it closer to you. Gently rocking side to side if that feels comfortable. Taking one deep breath. When you're ready, sending both hands to either side of your body, slowly letting your hips fall to the left. Still trying to keep both shoulders on the ground. One more deep breath in. Exhale, lifting all the way back up to center. Unhooking your right leg from your left, lifting your left, hooking it over your right. Gently pulling that hamstring or that shin closer to you. On your next exhale, sending both hands to either side of your body, gently letting your hips fall to the right. Deep breath in, coming all the way back up to center. Gently unhooking your leg, bringing the soles of your feet together. Letting your knees fall open. We're going to meet here for our last few breaths of class today, bringing one hand over your chest, one hand over your stomach. Feel free to take those box breaths in for 4, hold for 4, out for 4, hold, and repeat as you slowly start bringing awareness to all 4 corners of your body, wiggling your fingers, wiggling your toes, letting the back of your head hit the mat. Taking this time to set your intentions for the rest of your day. Letting go of any negative energy. As you slowly fall deeper and deeper into the back of the mat. That brings us to the end of today's class. Feel free to stay and stretch. As a reminder, we will not be having class next week. I do encourage you all to sign up for our next session, which is the week after. It'll still be the same class, the same days, the same time, same kind of stuff, probably more blocks. Other than that, look forward to seeing you all. Hope you have an amazing week.